Good afternoon, and thank you for being here today. We decided to call this press conference today to discuss the various issues surrounding Senate Bills 509 and 496 that have arisen since the Missouri House and Senate passed that piece of legislation last week. The governor has made certain statements regarding the bill, so we decided to explain to everyone that the Missouri House and Senate leadership and the governing Republican majority caucuses in both chambers completely stand behind and continue to support Senate Bills 509 and 496 for a number of reasons. Number one, it has been the priority of both the governing majority of the House and the Senate to provide tax relief for Missourians. One of the major reasons that the voters of this state sent a supermajority of common sense, fiscally conservative legislators to this General Assembly in November of 2012 was to reduce the size and scope of government, make government operate more efficiently and smarter, reduce tax burdens on hardworking Missourians, make sure that our budget continues to be balanced, protect our AAA bond rating, and attempt to lower economic burdens, tax burdens on Missourians wherever possible. That is generally what nearly all of the members of the governing majority Republican caucus in the Senate and the House ran on. In addition, that is generally what Governor Nixon ran on in 2012 as well. Unfortunately, the governor is obviously not heeding the promises that he made to the electorate back in 2012. Since that time, the Missouri House and the Missouri Senate have passed numerous tax reform and tax reduction bills. Just this year alone, the Missouri House has passed 4 different tax reform, tax reduction bills. Every single one of those bills was agreed upon by every single Republican that was available and voting in the chamber. One of those bills also enjoyed the support of a key Democrat, Representative Jeff Rorda. One of our tax reform bills had a larger bipartisan majority as well. The governor has shown hardly any interest at all in speaking with House or Senate leadership about any of the tax reform reduction packages passing through the House or the Senate. This is the typical lack of leadership we've seen from this governor on many major priorities over the last 6 years. The governor only makes his problems known with legislation after the legislature has worked for months on it, after it has sat on House and Senate calendars for weeks, and only after both bodies have given it final passage. Instead of wanting to engage with this legislature in working on tax reductions for all Missourians, something that the voters sent these large majorities to Jefferson City to do, to create a business climate that will create more growth, opportunity, and prosperity in our state, like many of our bordering states are doing on so many different levels. This governor would rather waste taxpayer resources in flying around the state on his taxpayer-funded airplane, wasting fuel, resources, and time, working everywhere around the state except in Jefferson City, where the policymakers are right now here today, where we're always willing to engage with him on providing tax relief for all Missourians. This governor has made it very clear he does not want tax relief for all Missourians. If the governor is going to veto the bill, I challenge him to veto the bill, instead of wasting time, fuel, and resources flying around the state talking about how he may veto the bill because of some misperception and misrepresentation he wants to make about the bill. The Missouri House and Senate leadership and the governing Republican majorities in both the House and the Senate are doing everything they can every day to create a good business climate here in the state of Missouri. The priorities we move forward on this year have shown that we understand what it takes to create that good business climate. Reducing tax burdens, working on reforms in many different areas of education, regulation, labor policies, litigation policies. There have been numerous bills that have passed out in both chambers on all of those respects. This governor needs to engage on these key policy areas instead of wasting taxpayer resources outside of this building while we're working hard here for Missourians every single day. I want to thank Senator Dempsey and Senator Kraus for joining us here today at this press conference. The majority leader is here as well as the budget chairman and other key members of the House caucus. I want to thank my Missouri House colleagues for joining in standing with us here today to continue to show our support for Senate Bills 509 and 496. We urge the governor to help us make these become law. We're here to answer any questions.
Do you have votes to override it?
You know, until the governor vetoes that, I don't know that we need to consider that question. We hope he does not veto the bill. But if he does veto the bill, we'll have to take a hard look at it. I'm very proud of the fact that every single Republican that was in the House chamber and available to vote last week did vote for the bill. So, and one Democrat. So I think it's something that we will definitely consider.